who sat right at the top of the tree.
And at the moment, that is Arsenal indeed. All right, well, they got the job done in the FA Cup for this round, and now I'm sure they'll be turning their attention back to the Premier League title race. These are the odds. Manchester City definitely hot on the Gunners' trail. 4 points separating these two. And yesterday, Kieran, Tijani Reinders said that City are on the hunt for Arsenal, and we keep talking about how it's always easier to chase than it is to lead, especially when you're coming from a Manchester City that has chased down Arsenal before. So what do you make of what Reinders had to say, and who are Arsenal still your favourites to get this done?
Well, it sounds very personal, doesn't it? Saying that he's chasing Arsenal.
Hunting, he said.
Hunting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he's hunting the Premier League, right? It doesn't matter who's in front. And yeah, they've done well to get themselves in this position. I think across the board in the Premier League, you know, no one's really lifted trees this season. There's inconsistency across the board, and so it is, for me, it's going to come down to, you know, probably the last 1 or 2 games, I reckon. I think City are going to drop points, but there's a case to be made that Arsenal will as well. I think what gives me confidence in Arsenal this season is that every time they have had a setback or they've had a heavy doubt and high criticism, they've bounced back. They've bounced back every single time. They lost to Man United, they bounced back immediately and put in a run. They lost to Villa and they put on a run. And I think in previous seasons, when they have been beat, they've let that drag for 2 or 3 games, and
it's like a hangover.
And they're shaking off those hangovers quicker. So they're just tough to beat. They're tough to beat. They might have picked up 1 or 2 too many draws, more than they have liked, but they very rarely get beat. They've got the best back 4 in Europe, and they've got the best holding midfielder in my opinion in Europe. So they have a stronger platform for me this season to go all the way.
Jan, when you're looking at the title race, would you rather be in Manchester City's situation?
No, I will absolutely be with Arsenal because they're leading. And I went to 2 of their away games. They went to Everton, won 1-0. They went to Leeds. Everybody said that's going to be a very difficult game for them. They were fantastic, solid. I mean, Leeds in the first half didn't have a shot on target. They went in the box of Arsenal. So if you go through the parts of the department, the goalkeepers, you can say, is a draw. Donnarumma, Raya is doing fantastic. Defensively, absolutely advantage Arsenal. Midfield, advantage Arsenal. Scoring goals, advantage City. The only where you can say that City are ahead of Arsenal Football Club is a manager who is a serial winner. And Arteta is not. And he need to have that first big trophy. And then in terms of winning culture, because again, Arsenal, you just feel it's easiest to knock them a bit down, but I think they're very, very solid. So I will absolutely stay with Arsenal Football Club because I think, as Kieran was saying, I think this season I haven't seen them as strong and with a broad of qualities that can win them games in some kind of way. You get 4-0 after 27 minutes, you think, wow, this is going to be one of those days, 8, 9, 10. But this was a great night, a day out for the Wigan fans. There were over 5,000 there. But yes, I love the magic of the FA Cup. I've been fortunate to play in the FA Cup. And we saw the quotes from Pep Guardiola before this weekend talking about this magic of the FA Cup. And thank God it's somehow back, I will say, because the other teams will see that the big trophy, the Premier League, that's going to be shared between Arsenal, hopefully for Arsenal fans, Manchester City and Liverpool the latest years. So this is the easiest, quote, way to get a title when you play in English football.
He can open it up at the drop of a hat, and that's what we want to see more of, you know, week in, week out. That's what he's there for, and that's the quality that he has.
Stevie, you wanted to see exactly this from Eze. He may not have gotten the goal, but still, again, reminded us all what he's capable of. Yeah,
listen, you want to see good players showing what they've got in the locker, and there's nothing more enjoyable than sitting back in your chair, watching the screen and watching a guy giving the eyes, putting a world-class ball in behind, the perfect weight, and making it easy for Madueke in so many ways. So yeah, you like to see players playing well and creating, and unfortunately he didn't score, but he pretty much did every other thing. Couldn't really ask for too much more.
And Jan, what did you make of Eberechi Eze as well? Because we were speaking in the pre-show that this night was really for him to kind of silence any critics, although, I mean, those critics would have been pretty harsh, but just the fact that he's gone on a bit of a goal drought. The last time, though, that he did score, it was a hat-trick in the North London derby, so a good place to leave off. But after he got that, we thought we would see a lot more.
You're forgetting something.
What?
You're going to upset, Jan.
Oh, I know.
Odegaard's getting pushed out.
Don't worry, we'll get to that. But even Jan appreciates great, beautiful, creative football. Right, Jan? You would have loved to play with Eze.
I admire beauty, absolutely. And you saw some great runs today from the offensive player by Arsenal. And Eze was a perfect man to take those runs, take advantage of them. I think that this game, again, they were talking about in the com about the fantastic stats of Arsenal Football Club in cup competition. 14 games, 13 of them won, and one draw was against Crystal Palace, and they won on penalties. So they just show you, I mean, when we're talking about class players, they have to take their chance against Wigan. I will say like this: Arsenal is the best team in England this year. I'm not sure they win the Premier League, but they are the best team. And there's a lot of metric of why I feel that we can take that later. But you know that broad squad, they can put people in, they can put people out. There's always new tools for Arsenal to use in those games. And I think that the attitude of Arsenal today was brilliantly. We've all been around in some of these games when you underestimate teams that you play, but they came out there, great runs. And it's, I mean, the critics, I mean, they can't like beauty. Eze is a fantastic player to watch.
Arsenal's quadruple dream is heating up after a ruthless 4-0 demolition of Wigan Athletic in the FA Cup fourth round at the Emirates Stadium on February 15, 2026. The Gunners produced a devastating first-half display, netting 4 goals in just 17 minutes to secure their spot in the fifth round for the first time since their 2020 triumph. Noni Madueke opened the scoring in the 11th minute with a sharp finish from Eberechi Eze's pinpoint through ball. Gabriel Martinelli made it 2-0 7 minutes later, again assisted by the influential Eze. Chaos followed as Wigan's Jack Hunt turned the ball into his own net in the 23rd minute, before Gabriel Jesus coolly chipped the keeper for the fourth in the 27th. Arsenal then cruised through the second half, managing rotations while keeping a clean sheet. Mikel Arteta hailed the blistering start and the squad's hunger, noting the performance kept their multi-competition ambitions alive. "We were clinical early and controlled the game," he said, praising Eze's creativity and the team's depth amid a packed schedule. Players like Bukayo Saka, deployed in an advanced role, shone brightly. Fans on X celebrated the dominance, with many highlighting the unstoppable first-half blitz and the quadruple chase staying firmly on track. Premier League leaders with a 4-point cushion, Carabao Cup finalists, Champions League last, 16 bound, and now FA Cup progress. One supporter called it pure ruthlessness, while others emphasized how cup ties bring out Arsenal's best football without pressure. This emphatic win against third-tier Wigan boosts morale and confidence, proving the Gunners can deliver when it matters across all fronts. The historic quadruple remains a long shot, but the momentum is building. Arsenal are in the hunt. Please like and subscribe.